I think Yang and Crow's reaction, in all honesty, is probably going to anger quite a few people, but at the same time, I think is very realistic. Because let's look at both sides here, okay? Yes, we understand now that Ozpin isn't fully responsible for everything. And honestly, he's not really even responsible for pretty much anything. I mean, the man literally died, and then Salem not wanting to let him just be dead caused everything. He was brought back, and then he was basically cursed to just wander this world just to save humanity, given a task that honestly he probably shouldn't have been given. But the point is we've seen his story. And the audience, for the most part, they understand Ozpin or Ozma's, position, what he's had to go through, and his decisions he's made and what he's done, even though it's kind of messed up in some ways, in the grand scheme of things, he probably did the best thing he possibly could do with the bad hand he was given. Now, at the same time, many are probably going to be quick to judge Crow and Yang's reaction to this news because, after seeing everything that Ozpin or Ozma's been through, you would not normally blame the man, but at the same time, it's understandable why they would, because think about it like this. We as the audience have had a lot of time to sit and process this information. For instance, you have had the time to be able to go out of your way and rewatch last week's episode multiple times. You've had enough time to be able to analyze the entirety of the episode to really understand what happened, for you can truly see from both sides. And RWBY and her entire crew, they do not have that luxury. They just had everything thrown on top of them like that, and now they're literally, their immediate reaction, they're just in a state of shock. And obviously, Yang would be very upset because, number one, her ties to her mother. Think about the entirety of the previous 5 seasons of RWBY and how Yang never really had a mother in her life, always wondering why her mother ran away, wanted nothing to do with her, and then she finally got the reason that her mother was basically a coward, didn't want to fight Salem, and all that. Now she understands. Now she knows why her mother never wanted to stand up to Salem, was because it's impossible. You cannot take down Salem. So now, Yang being someone that's very conflicted, she understands now that the emotions she showed to her very mother and calling her a coward, it really was probably wrong of her to say that, because honestly, what Raven did, it's logical. I mean, if you found out someone was literally immortal and quote-unquote cannot be killed, you would probably give up. Let's just face the facts, okay? If you literally were told that no matter what you do, no matter how many years or whatever you're given to do something and you cannot bring someone down, you'd be done. You're like, okay, fine. I'm done. And what Raven did is logical. She's like, I'm not going to waste my time, pointless amount of time I have, to waste on this. I'd rather use the time I have on this planet to do what I want, instead of just, going out there to die for no reason at all. And so, Yang's reaction is very human, and I understand where she's coming from. Because the whole mother situation, but also what a huntress stands for, to the Grimm, to Salem and all that, being promised to take down Salem, and then finding out in the grand scheme of things, no matter what you do, you're never going to have any end to this conflict whatsoever. Which, that's the sad part, because even though the Grimm is a dangerous force, and the Huntresses have been tasked to take down these Grimm for a very long time, the point still stood is that they had a little slight amount of hope to where they could one day reach the end of the Grimm horde and bring down Salem, the main mastermind, and everything would be fine. That was what they were holding on to. It's like hope. But if you get rid of hope, nobody has anything, and they don't want to press forward, and that's what has happened. All hope was basically taken out of Yang, out of RWBY, out of Weiss, out of Blake, out of Crow, everyone. All their hope just yanked out of them, because now they realize no matter what they do, they won't see the end of this. There's nothing they can do. It's literally just a test for humanity that, if these 4 relics are brought together and all that and used, it'll summon the gods and the world will be destroyed. And they're like, okay, maybe, what should we do? Like, nobody really has an answer. And then, when RWBY straight up asked Ozma or Ozpin, he's like, what's your plan to bring down Salem? And he's like, I don't have one. I can't blame Ozpin. Even though he's lived for a long time, an unnecessary amount of time, you cannot blame the man for not having a plan. I mean, once again, we gotta look back at the flashback we got in the last episode. Number one, Salem is his wife. He had children with her, and in her fit of rage, she killed his children. They're all dead. And he's been constantly coming back to life over and over again, and we saw how he was in a state of depression, and eventually he got back up on his feet, but a state of depression, we've seen that. He's been through a hell of a lot, more than any guy really should go through. And honestly, Crow's situation of wanting to just drink and all that and get rid of it, his is very minor in comparison to what Ozma and Ozpin and everybody else has had to go through, because he's seen a lot of bad things. And we also gotta remember that this man not having a plan, even though he's had so much time, is because when you're told that someone's immortal, the gods literally gifted Salem immortality, you're like, well, nothing can be done. And then you're told that once all relics come together, the gods will come back and judge, and they'll probably all get destroyed if humanity isn't as one. And he's like, well, crap, like, what am I supposed to do? What kind of plan should I have? Because everything went really bad, because Salem is an immortal monster that can't be stopped. Obviously, she wants to just put an end to everything and have the relics together. So he's like, I'm probably never going to have peace. He has no idea what he can do, because there'll never be an end to it as long as Salem is around. And there's no way to get rid of her, so there is no end. So yeah, I don't blame Ozpin or Ozma for not having a plan. But once again, Yang's reaction, understandable. But Crow's reaction was everything that Ozma or Ozpin was dreading. Something he did not want to hear, which was someone literally turning their back on you. Like, he's like, you were the worst thing to ever happen to me. You were the worst luck I've ever had. And, you're basically, you're an irredeemable piece of crap. Someone that has caused so much harm and all that. And you just see the man, like, turn his back on Ozma. And you see how he literally, just the depression on his face, and he just retreats into the back of Oscar's mind. It shows how hurt he was in that moment, because he realizes that, he's damaged a really good relationship he had with Crow, and, he already holds a lot of guilt towards Salem and all that. So having something like that said to him just kind of pushed him over the edge to where he's depressed and he just wants to stay gone for a while. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. So it's just a very sad moment. Like I said, I understand Crow and Yang's reaction, but I also feel bad for Ozma, because no one truly can understand what he's going through because of how long he's had to live. Nobody truly can comprehend that. But it also makes me wonder what's going on with the Silver Eyes, since Ozpin himself has no idea what plan he wants. So it makes me wonder what kind of goal does the Silver Eyes have? What are they going to be doing and all that? Because we don't really have our answer whatsoever. Now let's talk about the villain segment of this episode. The villain segment was honestly probably the best part. And the reason why is we finally got a reason to why Salem is menacing, why she is the final boss, why she is the main antagonist of RWBY, is because what she displayed within this episode, and even last episode, lets us know that she is definitely being geared up to be the final fight of the story, unless we face the God of Light and God of Darkness, and maybe other gods are out there, because we do know that there's other planets and stuff. We know that's a thing. If, the RWBY team wants to actually expand upon the verse of, the series. But for now, though, Salem is being set up as the main in-game baddie, and seeing that moment to when she literally flips a table like it's nothing, and then she literally holds Hazel down with the Grim out of nowhere, like commanding them, it's some pretty scary stuff, because Hazel by no means he's not weak. Well, yes, even though I didn't really like his overall backstory and everything he got, I talked about that in details in my, Season 5 reviews, I'm not going to get back into it, even though I didn't like everything about him, he was still a very strong character. He was not someone that you could overlook, think so like he's weak or whatever. And seeing Salem just overpower him like he was like a baby, I was just like, oh my god, like that's pretty freaking ridiculous. And then you see someone like Tyrion, he gets all scared and all that. He's like this, and he backs up. It just shows how much of a threat she really is. Just everybody in that room was absolutely terrified for a very good reason, and I just love how Salem, she was constantly thinking like what to do next, or, asking whose fault was it for everything to go wrong, and you had it to where Emerald was like it was Cinder's fault, and, Salem reacts like, oh, yes, of course it was. And basically is like, we should let, Cinder just wallow in her own misery for a while and just let her redeem herself before we allow her to come back. It basically shows that Salem is very aware that Cinder is alive, but at the same time is not really wanting to kill Cinder, which I think the reason why Salem is like that is because she probably sees a kindred spirit inside of Cinder, because Cinder is someone that is, very similar to Salem in probably a lot of ways in terms of anger and rage, and maybe that is the reason why, like, Salem acts like she does, like, Salem is treating Cinder like she is because, like, killing her would be easy. Because remember, the type of punishment that, Salem has got is literally to be cursed to live for all of eternity. So obviously, death is the easy way out for her, and for anyone, she thinks. So keeping Cinder around to suffer is probably the best punishment she probably could give, dishing out the same punishment that was given to her by the gods. So there's been a lot of things that's changed about Salem's character and how she probably will deal with Cinder after everything we learned with the last episode and this episode. So yeah, that pretty much clarifies everything that happened. It's a great episode. I'm very interested in the old woman. I'm curious to see what type of relevance she's going to have to the plot, if she's going to be a good guy, bad guy, is she potentially a winter maiden? I mean, we don't really know anything, but we'll see where it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, and for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified, so that's the reason why I'm saying hit the bell icon, because that's just how YouTube works nowadays, and this goes for all YouTubers out there, not just myself, but everyone on the platform. But with that, I love you guys, be safe, Chibi out.